When Harold Hamm was a little boy growing up in a family of 13 children working in the fields of Lexington, Oklahoma, he dreamed of a different life. He dreamed...
Gosh, I dreamed of everything when I was a young kid. That's all we had. We didn't have television and a lot of things that kids have today, so we made do with a lot of different things. And I remember one of the first toys that I had was a little truck, and we didn't have any bed on it, so put a Clever Girl bacon can on the back, and that's my tank truck. So I remember playing with that when I was a little kid. So we had to make do, with a lot of things. And I guess I did, and so that was my first truck.
A move to Enid when Harold was 16 was the first step to his journey of success, and for the first time in his life, he was around oil and gas people.
I noticed that these people were bigger than life, charismatic, generous, great people to be around. First time I'd been out on drilling rigs, home fuel and lube oils to them. And so it was an interesting time for me. And so I became enthralled with oil and gas business in high school. Wrote an oil and gas report in my DE class and did the research on it and really became impassioned, I guess, with oil and gas.
Married and a father at a young age, Harold named Shelley Dean Oil Company after his first 2 children. Now, reflecting on the past 42 years, he attributes his success to the help from others.
So I had a lot of mentors in the business. But I established those early on and started asking so many questions, it just probably drove them crazy. But I learned all I could, and in a couple of years we incorporated Shelley Dean Oil Company. And it wasn't very long after that we bought some leases and some producing properties and began an oil and gas company as well. So I had 2 companies, the service company and the production company. And we drilled our first well in 1971 on an idea that I had, and it worked out well, came in very nice. And we drilled a series of wells in that same play, and it's called the Alene Oswego. And it actually was pretty shallow production, about 6,000 feet. But the wells came in very nice. Some of them would flow up to 100 barrels an hour and accumulate a lot of oil production through the years. So that's our first sizable play. And for a beginner, it sure meant a lot. We had early success, and that was real important to us.
He eventually went to Phillips University to learn chemistry, earth science, and anything else related to his business. The school he so dearly loved would go through disappointing changes. But when Dr. Tom McDaniel took the helm as president of Northwestern, it became crucial that the colleges and Enid work together.
Dr. McDaniel, he just set the whole tone for cooperation. And that cooperation exists today. He got it started and got it going, and it's never stopped. It's just fabulous. You can go out there and just go from one school, the other school advertises for the other one, and they work with students fabulously well.
Harold received one of the first honorary master's degrees Northwestern had handed out in 100 years, and he also received a doctorate of humane letters from OU. His reaction?
Oh, it's fabulous. I kept thinking about what my mother would say. I'm sure she was looking down and saw that, and so but that would have just been the ultimate for her, to see one of her kids receive that. That would just been the ultimate.
A diagnosis of type 2 diabetes sent Harold looking for treatment.
There just wasn't any MD Anderson of diabetes that you could go to. Some good treatment centers in some places, but it wasn't something that just stood out. And so I thought there should be, and the more I learned about it, the more I became convinced that there should be. I felt like it was just an area that needed some of the best research and work done in of any, because it was such an unpopular disease. Nobody wanted much to do with it. I didn't either, but I had it. So anyway, I kind of had, I guess, subconsciously developed a vision of what ought to be done.
He met with Dr. Boren, who already had some steps in place, and the final result was the Harold Hamm Oklahoma Diabetes Center at OU. To be able to have so much to give was truly a blessing from above and originated from that first spark of intrigue.
Back then, the idea of finding ancient wealth, and that's what turned me on so much as a young man. That just grasped my mind, that if you were smarter than everybody else and you had more drive or more ambition perhaps and could figure it out, you could go out there and find this ancient wealth that had been buried for millions and millions and millions of years, and suddenly become very wealthy and in your own right. And you could do it yourself by just being more intelligent, perhaps, or better than everyone else.
His awards are numerous, among them NSWA Hero of the Industry Award, Energy Advocate of the Year, and Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year. A life is so much more than a summary of experiences. It's filled with love, laughter, and learning. Harold credits his mother with teaching him ambition at an early age.
She always thought of some means by which we could, we had a large garden, for instance, and we put up a lot of fruit, vegetables. She did a lot of canning and things like that, made quilts and all these sorts of things, to make sure we got by. So she was very ambitious. I think that when I look back, I can contribute my ambition to her. And the principles of entrepreneurship, perhaps, you began right there, and with very simple beginnings.
Simple beginnings. The sharecropper's son has done well. He's a kind and generous man with a loving wife, Sue Ann, and 5 beautiful children. His legacy will help cure the sick and suffering, provide education for those who could have been forgotten, and his discovery of ancient wealth beneath the soils of time will fuel the lives of millions. Congratulations to Harold Hamm, this year's Oklahoma City University's Minders School of Business honoree for the Outstanding Achievement Award.